Hi, I'm Ed Brock, and I'm here with Geoff Ballotti. He's CEO of Wyndham Group, and here we were at the HoaCon 26. What's going on? How's it going?
Ed, it would not be an AHOACon in any year if we weren't talking to your listeners and talking about how excited we are here at Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. When you look at all of the shows we go to, we would say that aside from the show we do every 18 months, which you come to, and you were at Vegas last at the AHOACon. I'm sorry, at the Wyndham Global Conference. They're synonymous, and that was my point. The Wyndham Global Conference 2024. You were there in Vegas. We're about to do another one that we're soon to announce. Aside from our own global conference, this is for us our favorite show.
Right.
We have 100, over 100, well over 100 by the end of today because we're very close to our world headquarters in Parsippany, New Jersey. But we have over 100 franchise sales, development professionals. We have our sales, our marketing, our operations, our IT technology team all here because it is such an important show. And from the start of it yesterday, I don't know if you caught all 100 of us up on stage,
Oh, no.
which they allow us to do before the opening of the first general session. There's a certain optimism and I'd say excitement in the air. I think people are feeling much better about where we are today than where we were this time last year, where there was a lot more uncertainty. You were at AHOACon 2025. We were all in New Orleans.
Yes.
And this was a period where you saw in the industry, you saw RevPAR start to really soften.
Right.
And you've continued to see that in the select service space. April was weaker than March. May was weaker than April. And that continued all the way through to December. Now, here we are now in April. And we've seen 3 consecutive months where demand in our industry has picked up.
Right.
And so I think franchisees, small business owners that are here at AHOA for this conference are feeling a lot more optimistic about the business ahead than they did this time last year. And our teams are certainly feeling that
Right.
here in the booth.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking a little bit this morning about there's this sort of a divide going on between two groups, two camps, one saying we need to be better to the brands, the other saying, well, the franchisees need to be taken care of. What do you think about it? And we kind of came to the agreement that this is more unification, more of a unified front, particularly with advocating for the industry, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we look across the country, there's never been a more important time in our nation's 250 years of advocacy than there is today in terms of the bipartisan nature of what's going on out there in Washington, D.C. today. So associations like AHOA are really important. Associations like the American Hotel and Lodging Association, as we were talking about this morning, are really important. Advocacy matters. What matters most to congressmen and women is that they're hearing not from brands and suppliers who are here, but they're hearing directly from the small business owners.
Right.
We've been a huge supporter of AHOA since its foundation.
Right.
You and I have talked a lot about 37 years ago, our then chairman, Mr. Henry Silverman, and our then CFO, Mr. Stephen P. Holmes, who is my chairman today at Wyndham Hotels and Resorts, decided that there was a need for advocacy among small business owners in the select service economy and mid-scale lodging space. And we wrote a check for $100,000 that launched AHOA in the offices of Days Inn in Atlanta.
Right.
And that famous picture that was shown yesterday as H.P. Rama received his award was H.P. Rama, a young officer at AHOA, standing in front of a Days Inn sign in our world headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia, for that brand. We've been proud AHOA supporters ever since.
Right.
As we were talking this morning, our support has never wavered.
Mm-hmm.
Through COVID, the 1 year there wasn't an AHOA, I mean, we were still participating and contributing. We do everything we can to support its cause, its officers. They're all coming to New Jersey, I believe, the week after next to meet with our team at our world headquarters. And it's an important relationship. And this is really, after our show, the most important conference for us because these are our customers.
Yeah.
Everyone who's here either owns a Wyndham or would like them to own a Buy Wyndham brand of ours, our 25 brands that are proudly represented today by all of our brand leaders and all our operating professionals that you see behind me.
Right. So this morning I read that Wyndham stock went up like 3.25%, something like that, bumped up by the announcement of the ceasefire in Iran.
Well, I think all stocks, the market has
Yeah.
been up. I mean, we believe our stock is significantly undervalued from where it was pre disruption. I mean, if you recall, we were trading up in the 100s, over $110 a share not too long ago.
Right.
There is, when you look at our growth algorithm, the piece that has been missing has been RevPAR.
Right.
You look at our long-term growth algorithm in economy and mid-scale lodging, RevPAR has been down now for 4 consecutive quarters. And it wasn't until, and I think that's a much bigger piece of the optimism in terms of this industry that's here in the floor, in terms of our company, in terms of our brands, is with economy RevPAR coming back, with it stabilizing, first of all, which it did in January, and with it starting to pick up in February and March. From an investor standpoint, and I think that's being reflected equally in the stock, certainly uncertainty creates questions for investors. But what investors most want to see is RevPAR stabilization, which they began to see towards the end of the year, and RevPAR growth in the economy and the select service space, which they've begun seeing in the past few weeks. So,
well, what's bringing it back? What's
I think continued demand, stabilization, and improvement. There's been a lot of debate about this K-shaped economy. Is it structural? Is it not? We don't believe it is.
Right.
And when you see weeks like we've seen recently, until this most previous week, which is a messy comp with Easter, but the last 8 weeks in the United States of America, Smith Travel Research Economy RevPAR improved. The last 4 weeks was a lot better than the last 8 weeks.
Right.
And the last few weeks leading into Easter was actually positive. And those are the first green shoots that investors have seen in this select service economy landscape from a demand standpoint. So it's been really encouraging to see.
Everybody's here.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a good summer, you think?
There's so much to be optimistic about this summer.
Yeah.
Obviously, World Cup, we have hundreds and hundreds of hotels that are already seeing a lot of pickup. You've got teams coming over from overseas already checking into practice, and these games don't really begin, as you know, until June.
Right.
We've got the new centennial promotions that we have out for Route 66 that our marketing team is really excited about. If you look up and down that fabled highway, so many of our brands, Days Inn, Super 8, Road Warriors, are going to be out traveling this summer. And I think, look, consumer confidence is improving.
Right.
It has begun to improve. Right. And everything that investors worry about, that we were always asked about, are the following: Are we seeing a tick up in cancellation rates? We're not.
Okay.
Are we seeing people still with gas beginning to tick up, willing to drive? We are.
Okay.
Are we seeing average lengths of stay shorten? And we're not. And most importantly, are we seeing booking windows shorten? Meaning, we don't have a lot of visibility given the short-term nature of our leisure transient business, and we're not. And the other piece of it, Ed, is what I think these small business owners are really encouraged about, is a continued pickup in infrastructure spending,
Right.
a continued pickup in investment. Think about the number of data centers that have been announced but have not yet started.
Okay.
There's a lot of pushback from a zoning standpoint, but those data centers will be built. There's so many billion-dollar projects already under construction.
Right.
And what we talk about on our earnings call consistently is where those infrastructure investments are being made on energy, on data centers, on hyperscalers. The hotels that we see around those big projects
Right.
are seeing really significant improvements in both RevPAR and market share because of the lack the abject lack of supply. Supply has been at an all-time low,
Okay.
as everyone's talking about. There hasn't been a lot of new construction, and so
Noticed that, yeah.
yeah, and so whether it's on the energy side or whether it's on the government highways and bridges and roads, that's a bipartisan bill that has both sides of Congress supporting.
Yeah.
There have been delays, as there was really coming out of early 2025 with Doge and so much of what was going on.
Yeah.
But we're beginning to see that pick up and ramp up, and there's not anecdotally a story I don't hear every day about one of our owners or developers wanting to start a new construction project because of the demand that's been announced and is coming because of on the business side, that investment that will be made over the next 8 to 10 years.
Right. Oh. Okay, that's all I have for
All
you.
right.
Perfect. I'll
Well,
see you
as
next time
always-
at the next
Yeah.
conference.
You'll see us in
All right.
Vegas.
Thanks a lot.